You know, someday I'll get up, the sun will rise, and my foot won't hurt. It's not today.
Gosh.
Hey, good morning, or maybe it's good evening where you are. Time for a little RR&R, Rez's Race Recaps. I wish. It's rest, recovery, and a dose of reality. You know, I got the impression after the last video that some of you were a bit alarmed at my choice of words at the end of the video, if you made it that far into it. Hopefully I'll see you at the start line. Those words were chosen carefully because if you could have been in my head for the last training run of the week, every step was painful. I kept thinking, if I have to go another foot, 13, 26 miles like this, it's going to drive me insane. So I'm just keeping it real. I do have my doubts, but I'm pushing ahead with training for Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge. T-minus 16 weeks and counting till Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, just 16 weeks left. And if you're following the runDisney training plan, it's an easy week, it's R&R. You're probably thinking, how is a maintenance week R&R? Because those 30-minute training runs and 3 miles at the end of the week, they should be easy. You just tore up your leg muscles last week, 25 miles, a 13-mile distance run, 4-mile walk, and those 2 maintenance runs. You need to let your legs repair. Now, if you are like me and you're recovering from an injury, R&R is a bit different. I know a lot of you are going through this process and journey with me when it comes to injury. Adam, you've been dealing with the same stress fracture for 1.5 years. Stephanie, your Achilles. And both Pamela and Kristen have knee issues. Pamela had surgery. And Kristen, your bum knee, you just made it through a half marathon in Plano. Congratulations. You know, if you haven't seen Kristen Turkelson, who is running in makeup, which I do not do,
mall walk it.
You've got to check her out. I'll put a link in the description box below. She and her running buddy are so funny and so witty and so motivating. They have offered to push me through the entire marathon in a wheelchair. They said they'd rent it. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Now you may notice I have a prop here with me, my little travel tripod. I don't always have a chance to talk about everything I want to in every video. I want to keep them kind of short. A few weeks ago, the doctor and I talked about the foot being the perfect tripod. So if this right here would be like my 4th metatarsal and proximal phalanx, I'm going to leave this collar undone because that's where I hurt my foot. And if this is my 2nd metatarsal on my 2nd toe, because we found another stress fracture that looks like it's still healing, I'm going to leave that one undone. So those two are undone. This one I'm going to lock down. That represents my other toes. And if you try to stand on that after pushing it too hard, it's just going to collapse. So I just didn't know what to do. I reached out to my friend and my buddy, my trainer and coach, Karen, a sometime athlete, and I said, what do I do? How do I go forward with this? She said, time out. Let's take a step back. Let's get you off that foot and give it a break. And what she suggested is so against everything that I've ever known about training for a marathon. I want to be out there with the rest of you on the road, putting in the miles. Part 1, a leisurely stroll.
3, 2, 1. Workout started.
Okay, so I'm trying to do this with something really small. The Osmo Pocket hasn't been so successful to this point, but I have a new wide-angle lens on it, and we're gonna see how this goes. This is gonna be a really slow walk. This is about the pace I'm going to go. We'll figure out how fast this is in just a moment. I'm sore and this hurts, which means I way overdid it a week ago.
What's the use of getting up to brew the coffee, fill the cup, only to stand yourself aside
0.27 miles. Pace 19:02. Average pace.
I kinda like it when you start to realize you cannot hide it.
Every step is agony. In my head, I know this is going to pass. This will pass at some point, but it's not right now.
It's like the walls are closing in. I feel my patience wearing thin. I kinda like it when you start to realize you cannot hide it.
Pace 17:55. Average pace 17:13. Heart rate 103. Average heart rate 99.
It's worked out a little bit. Not so painful with every step, but still sore. And I'm managing, what, just over a 17-minute pace.
1.5 miles.
I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Been pushing a little bit over 17, much slower than that 16-minute per mile course pace that's required. The foot worked itself out a little bit. It doesn't hurt so much right now. I have got a long way to go. Not a lot of time to get there for 26.2.
Workout complete. You rock.
Part two of my break week. No rest for the weary. The trainer wants me to get on this thing, the MaxTrainer, the elliptical, and not that video workout I did a couple of weeks ago. She really wants me to bring it. Heart rate and zone training, zone 3 or higher for at least 45 minutes. We're trying to see what my foot can handle. Little secret, I already know I can do this. You know, when I'm out there, the problem is walking hurts. That's because you roll your toes when you walk. The running isn't as painful, but it's causing more damage. It actually aggravates the injury. It causes my foot to swell up. This doesn't do that. Let's go.
3, 2, 1. Workout started. Entering zone 1.
I'm actually using the interval timer. I'm so used to it. Like Pavlov's dog. Sorry, Darla. I went a little over because I wanted to pull out the camera. In this case, it was the phone, so I could record my thoughts. And I made it this long with only one little zing 30 minutes in. I mean, I was pushing it here. Zone 3, zone 4, the whole time. This is harder than anything I've done all year with running or walking, but it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. This is what may get me to goofy.
What's the use of getting up to brew the coffee, fill the cup?
Part three. Coach wants me to do 1 hour at a comfortable pace. Right around course pace, that's 16 minutes. If I can keep it a little lower with some running and jogging, we're gonna do that. But above all, it has to be comfortable. My foot can't hurt. A little sore in the beginning here. It feels like I constantly have to work out the stiffness from the injury. Run timer.
2 miles. Pace 11:22. Average pace 14:43.
Hey, not a bad pace. I have learned so much from this week about managing the pain and the inflammation in his foot. Thank you, Coach Karen. You know, this is what it's going to take. Low and no impact between those duration and distance runs every other week just to keep me going. And I'm also working on post and pre-workout training rituals to manage the inflammation and swelling. It may help you. It may help you with your training. So I'm going to share that next time. In the meantime, keep training. My #1 goal this whole time is going to be to keep moving so I can see you at the start line.
I see someone who will survive.